Jody Rowland is a husband of 23 years to Glenda. Was that Glenda? Father of 2 teenagers, which explains the gray hair, and a proud resident of Gravenhurst for the last 24 years. Jody moved to Gravenhurst from Keswick in 1989 to a small town north of Bracebridge called Raymond. Jody is a builder. He loves to coach local youth in many sports, and as long as his body will let him, he will continue to play sports as well. Jody's going to speak to us tonight about being a mobile DJ. So ladies and gentlemen, Jody Rowland.
Thank you. Some of you might ask, a DJ, why a DJ? And my thoughts is, why not? People pay you money to come to their parties. It all started back in public school when I offered to DJ a school dance at the gymnasium. It sounded like fun, and I thought, well, I'll bring my home stereo. It was so underpowered, the kids had to stand within about 4 or 5 feet of the stage to hear it, but you know what? They loved me, and I was hooked. Nonetheless, forward to the 1990s, lots of house parties. I was a guest at these house parties, and I didn't like the music that was always being played, so I took the liberty of going up to the stereo and putting on something with proper tempo, proper music, something you could actually dance to, and people started to notice. So fast forward now to the 1998, when a friend actually asked me to do a DJ booking for a friend's 30th birthday at his home. I was going to get paid real money to do this. Okay, it was a 70s themed disco party. A 70s themed disco party. I was born in the 70s. I didn't live the 70s. I said yes because I really enjoyed it, and I called to my uncle who'd been doing this for 37 years, was in order. I dipped into his collection for a lot of disco, but what I really wanted to get from him was the gear. I was not taking a home stereo to this one. I wanted the big speakers and I wanted the power. So the night came, and my wife and I decked ourselves out in 70s garb. She was in a 2-piece crushed red velvet flared pant something, and I was dressed in a white suit a la Saturday Night Fever. And just thinking about it makes me feel sick because it was awful. But again, it was amazing. The people loved it. So now what to do next? Start getting bookings, make some money. I printed up some cards on my bubble jet printer. That's right, go big or go home. And bam, I was a businessman. Started it slow, had to play a few bookings, wait for the phone to ring. The crowd started to have a good time, and the word got out. Before you know it, I was playing almost every weekend. Getting better at my craft, expanding my music library, understanding tempo, different styles of music, what worked as a DJ and what didn't. As a DJ, I knew what the crowds loved, and I had to learn to listen to people making obscure requests for songs. Knowing it helped them come to the conclusion that their song just wasn't a good idea, or maybe I didn't have it with me that night. Some of the artists that did stand the test of time, and some of the songs that really worked, and some of you folks in this room are probably going to recognize some of these, but songs like Bob Seger, Old Time Rock and Roll, gotta love that one, ABBA, Dancing Queen, Village People, YMCA, Righteous Brothers, Unchained Melody, so many standards and anthems, but can anyone guess that one song that wound people up, gave you an adrenaline rush? Guests of all ages would rise out of their chair and stomp to this tune, and you'll probably all agree, the number one thing for me was AC/DC Shook Me All Night Long. And you probably agree. Some of the functions I would play: weddings, birthday parties, Christmas parties, New Year's Eve, or as DJs call it, the money shot. Got to bill a little extra on that night. One of my favorite parties was always to be able to play a Halloween party. People got to be someone other than themselves, and they got to dress up. And I think through the loop of pictures here, you'll have seen I used to partake in getting dressed up as well. Sometimes in shirt and tie, but sometimes I would get dressed up as some glam rock stars, like Dee Snider from Twisted Sister, or Gene Simmons from Kiss. I only did this for one reason, though, that I heard spandex was slimming. It wasn't the case. Now, a topic that made this job absolutely worth it: the people. The people I got to meet, and oh, the stories I could tell from what I have seen in the crowds over the years. Should I tell some? No, because some of you people in this room have probably been to my bookings, and I wouldn't want to be exposing any names. I was a witness to some of the best dancing, bar none, some of the most talented individual dancers, some of the most talented couples dances, bride and groom dances. Absolutely blew my mind, some of the talent I saw. I watched a bride and groom from France. I played a resort in Bracebridge, and he flipped her right clean upside down in her wedding dress on their opening song to an artist I didn't recognize because they brought the music with them from France. But it was unbelievable. I had to wake my wife up when I got home that night to say, honey, guess what I saw? This guy almost threw the bride to the roof. It was pretty neat. Some people who shouldn't dance, just to be quite frank, but you get a few glasses of courage in them and they have more moves than saran wrap in a windstorm, is probably the best way to put it. But nonetheless, I stood in the corner behind my equipment in the shadows, we'll say. I could see the guests arrive into the hall, her in her dress and her high heels, and him in a freshly pressed shirt and tie, hair all combed. And they'd be finding the vibe of the room, trying to find a table where to sit, where's our friends. And they would get that all sorted out, and they would eventually get themselves over to the bar and they would order a drink. And that's the moment the proverbial science fair project started. The transformation, or the Jekyll and Hyde syndrome, I call it. By the end of the night, some of these people were leaving. She usually didn't have her shoes on. Her hose was torn. He had his shirt unbuttoned and his tie was around his head like Rambo. The transformation had happened all because of what was happening at the bar. And in some of that, I usually was able to group them into three. At the end of the night when they had their drinks, there was three. 1/3 wanted to fight, usually the men. 1/3 wanted to flirt, usually the women. And there's that 1/3, those dancers who thought, I'd look really good if we just had a pole here. But I just wrapped up my speakers and cables and went. In hindsight, I wish I'd kept better notes and written a book, but that wouldn't be fair because as most people didn't know I was watching. Again, I was behind the shadows. Most people didn't see me. So I just want you to know that those memories will never go away. They will stay with me forever. And although I made lots of money over the years, I do have one secret to share for those of you that hired me. I loved it so much, I would have done it for free.